Keep moving on. Keep moving on.
And they say I have a grim sense of humor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time again. Welcome back to Risen Esports Dominate Sundays. You got Acolyte bringing you the play-by-play today, and alongside me, we got the fantastic Fat Man providing the color. How we doing this afternoon, sir?
Doing great, doing great. I'm just ready for some nice League of Legends commentary, some nice League of Legends competition. You know, you love to fill the weekends with sports. Why not esports? So, 100% ready. And just to go ahead and introduce these two teams, we have TA and TA Nebula. We're familiar with them. They kind of stomped the last time we casted, and then we got Meatballers on the red side, which is going to be fun because they're 0-7, but they can really ruin TA Nebula's plans by giving them a loss here in this series because there is a three-way tie. I remember you had mentioned before. So the playoff race is getting kind of interesting.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the three-way tie for second place. That means the seeding for playoffs will be all over the place. Who wants to go against the undefeated number one seed? Not really a lot of people do. But we're going into draft, and it looks like because of the emergency sub, there's going to be a few lost bans going on. But right away, TA Nebula banning out Rel, Tristana, and Maokai. The Electron Storm looks like he's going to be the emergency sub in the mid lane. Just a little NAOPGG search. I mean, I'm assuming to be NA since we're on the NA server. He's in his promos to Diamond right now, but it looks like a top lane main going into the mid lane. So emergency subs is never really something that you want to see, especially when you're getting into these dominate leagues, especially when we're in weeks 8, 9, we're getting into the later parts of the season. But if it's someone they know, hopefully he's able to fit right in and gel with the team and may even be able to give us a little bit of a creative draft.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last time when a lower ranked team faced up against the Nebula. They got pretty creative, and not just the picks were creative. Their aggressiveness was something to look out for. I was pretty impressed just because I didn't expect that from any team that was, like if you're a team that doesn't have wins coming into a team that's like fighting for like the number 2 spot. I would assume they would try to play more safe and more comfort picks, maybe more like CC heavy. But no, they went aggro. They went Lee Sin in the jungle. They had gone Thresh in the bot lane. They were looking for picks and they were looking to make a statement in the series, which they did. It was a 2-0 for TA Nebula, but they really made it feel like a 3-game series. So I'm just hoping Meatballers can do the same. I hope they come in with intentions to really like kill in this series and really make it hard for TA Nebula to get that number 2 spot. That's what I'm interested for, and it kind of looks like that just because of the Philios Thresh on the bot lane, but the nice response from Blitzcrank on TA Nebula's side. So we might have a slobber knocker here.
Yes, sir. So right away, let's just kind of walk through the bans as they've gone through. We had Kaisa first pick, Nolanator from the Meatballers. He is someone who prioritizes the Kaisa, and actually he's not in today. Riverd is actually going to be playing in as the sub. So Kaisa at the beginning, without knowing that Nolanator wouldn't be there, he played Kaisa 3 times more than any other champion. So Kaisa's super high priority right now, has massive wave clear with the static shiv, going with the AP build, massive poke from downtown. But going with the Aphelios Thresh, that's the tried and true combo in the bot lane. Thresh with the Lantern, able to keep Aphelios safe, help him reposition and navigate those kind of difficult team fights. Blitzcrank, Annie. I mean, Blitz, if you get the hook on Aphelios, Lantern out of that is going to be pretty difficult. And Annie is just kind of like the solid mid laner at the moment. Guarantee point and click CC with the Q. And then Rumble with the Equalizer. That could be flexed mid or top lane right now, rounding out as we go into the second round of bans.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned it. They got a top laner in the mid lane, so Rumble can most definitely be a flex. We'll see if they go ahead and think about that. They might just go ahead and ban out jungles right here. 4 banned jungles would be crazy. I mean, there is a jungle doesn't really have too crazy versatility at the top, but once you take out those upper echelon champions, then it kind of dies down and towards the bottom. Like that's what I was gonna say. Wukong, Vibe, Maokai, Sejuani. Those are kind of like the universal picks that I see a lot of people go, and then it goes into Viego. J4 most likely is gonna be a target ban. But J4, even though he's not really in the meta, he's kind of always there just because of his kit. His kit just calls for picking people out, helping out in team fights, the Cataclysm, locking people down. That would be nuts with the Rumble. You know what I mean? If you could lock down 3 people and get them stuck in that ultimate, the burn is just so nasty. And then Rumble, I think, is a very strong champion. So we'll see. Oh, Ivern.
We see Rumble loves to equalize those team fights, but Ivern coming off of a very successful stint, he was top win rate across 3 or 4 roles. I'm not sure exactly how much, but Ivern just showing extreme dominance across a lot of lanes. Did have to be hot fix nerfed. So Ivern also a little bit of a different take to the traditional jungler path. So that means that EQQ is going to have to adjust accordingly to Ivern and the pathing. But Ivern putting on the shield, so it's kind of like a protect the Aphelios comp right here. Also allows Rumble to get in there, get that flame spitter off, and even overheat and get those melees down and just beat down on that little 8-year-old girl Annie.
Yeah, most definitely. Ayo. But Graves getting picked up by TA Nebula, I think that is kind of a big boss move type of thing, just because Graves can definitely keep up with a unpolished Ivern versus like a more comfortable polished Graves player. I would say Graves has the upper hand just because he's all about tempo. He can eat up camps. He's all about invading, making sure he takes away, especially with like the changes where like the XP or they try to make it like not worth it to invade and take away camps. Graves, it still makes sense for him because he's able to just clear out camps, be healthy. And then if you're skilled with him, he'll be super quick. And on top of that, he'll go into ganks in different angles that you wouldn't expect him. And the smoke screen is a great setup, in my opinion, to try to get that Q off, because usually people always try to run away from the middle of the screen and go towards a wall, and that basically sets up his Q for maximum damage. But to round off the comps, I see Gnar and Ornn picked up, and I'm kind of liking this. This is a little traditional. Ivern's kind of a interesting pick in my opinion, because I still think he's strong even with all the nerfs. But does Meatballers have a jungler that's comfortable on Ivern? Because then that would make this team comp kind of interesting in my opinion. I don't know about how you feel.
I mean, the research I did beforehand, I mean, OPGG definitely doesn't tell you the whole story when it comes to, champ select and team compositions and how things work, because there's always scrims that go off and don't show up in match history. But Jort's the jungler for Meatballers. It seems like he's a support main when you pull him up on OPGG. Again, could be wrong. But Ivern does kind of fit that kind of enchanter supportive jungler. Stops him from having to be something like the Graves or something like a Xin Zhao that usually requires you to understand pathing a little bit better. But I mean, just looking at team comps in general, with the Aphelios having the Thresh to move around in the Ivern shield, that's saying you're putting all of your eggs in the Aphelios basket, or also just allowing Rumble to go forward. Meanwhile, if you take a look at like Graves and the Annie, they kind of have this really big meat shield. If you're taking a look at team comps that we're seeing across all the regions right now, it's usually double tank. It's a tank CC jungler, tank CC support, and then just the rest of them being able to do some damage. So TA Nebula definitely fitting the mold of the current meta that we're seeing across the pro scene right now. But Meatballers, I mean, they're looks like they're playing their style. They're playing a little bit more enchanter based. They do have picks available. They do have CC available coming across pretty much all of their laners. So it's going to be a slobber knocker.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel that. I think that the more difficult comp is the Meatballer comp to execute, even though I'm kind of favoring that comp over TA Nebulas. But just because I think Rumble is such a strong pick. Ivern as well, I don't think is, even though nerfed, I don't think he's a terrible pick. He's still really good in my opinion. Utilize the brushes. If you do all of that, he could be very devastating in team fights and in ganks. But I might just give it to TA Nebula, because yeah, a lot easier. You got a point and click stun in Annie. You got the Ornn Horn, just being able to bring it from downtown, like how you said, Kaisa as well, going a little bit of the more versatile AP build. You have Graves, so you're gonna have the AD damage on your side as well. So it'll give Kaisa the comfort to go any path. Yeah, I'm looking at TA Nebula's comp, and I'm probably thinking to myself, that one's probably a lot easier to execute. The pick potential is so much like clearer as well. Thresh hook is nothing to a Blitzcrank hook, in my opinion. When it comes down to like amateur scenes, I just think like Blitzcrank pull is like a lot stronger ability towards like the amateur scene. Yeah.
It also just does so much with terrain. If you're able to play around vision, that Blitzcrank hook being able to move people over walls, especially with a mobile carry such as like Aphelios and Rumble, who can't get up and over that wall and back out, definitely makes it harder for them to navigate. And just the burst potential. I mean, Annie stun, Graves R, Kaisa dash in, assassinate. It's going to be really hard to keep the Aphelios alive long enough. And then if they're able to burst down that Aphelios, then that means that Rumble and Nara have a lot of work to do into the team fights if it becomes an instantaneous 4v5. So like you mentioned, very hard for them to navigate. We'll see if Meatballers are able to do it.
Yeah, if they're able to do it, it's gonna be a fun series, because that means that whatever champions they're comfortable on, they're gonna be able to execute. So I personally can't wait to see what's gonna be in store for this first game, because this definitely sets the tempo for the series. And I hope Meatballers got that dog in them, and they really try to come and win the series and try to rain on TA Nebula's parade in this playoff race.
Yeah, well, we casted TA Nebula last week, and we saw like their early game. Their early game was not the cleanest. You know, the team that was a little bit below them was able to kind of throw punches at them, but once they got into that team fight perspective, they got to 30-35 minutes where really gold didn't mean so much because everyone was reaching those high item thresholds. They're able to bring it together and team fight. So Meatballers don't really have that early game comp that we kind of saw from the previous one, where we saw that TA Nebula struggled a little bit. But I mean, anything can happen on any given day, especially, you know, with a sub, and we don't really know what else is going on behind the scenes. Actually, 2 subs going on for Meatballer, so maybe they found the recipe for success. But we're going to be counting down the spectator delay. We're going to go to a quick break while we load into the Rift. Stick around, don't go too far, because we will be right back with Risen Dominate Sundays as we go into Week 8. TA Nebula 5-2, looking to solidify their second place playoff seed. Meatballers just looking to get that one win on the board and to ruin TA Nebula's day. Stick around, we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Rift. We got a Ward spotting out this invade. Fantastic Fat Man, are you ready for a brawl? Hook from Threshland, there's the death sentence, the root, the ignite, first blood goes over to Rivered, and they're gonna keep the fight going. Blitzcrank still has the hook, here's Mouse for him, and it looks like Nar's gonna dodge the hook. And these teams are just going back and forth. Flamesplitter is just burning them up. Orange Meatball has 20% HP, but he lands another death sentence, and Uvi goes down. Second kill of the game over to Rivered, and Meatballs started the game off 2-0 before anything even happens, before minions even spawn.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. This is not how I thought it was gonna start out. And again, I'm glad I'm wrong about this. Meatballers coming to play. And we said this before, the early game is not too hot for TA Nebula. That's something that they got to work on definitely before the playoffs start. And Meatballers are here to go ahead and challenge that. They went ahead and stacked, perfectly well-timed stack. They just knew that the red invade was coming in, and they got it. So let's see how they'll go ahead and take this lead going forward, because it is quite massive on Aphelios. 2 kills and going in with the Colin lane.
That's double longsword.
Yeah.
Double longsword for sure. That's going to be a lot to deal with. I thought he was choking a little bit by throwing that hook so early, but it kind of makes sense trying to land that hook and kind of disrupt them from being all in their the ball and getting too close from to actually make that fight happen.
Yeah.
So I mean, well done, just landing that hook and also sticking around for those cooldowns and landing that follow-up to get the second kill as well.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised that TA Nebula tried to stick around. I guess because like CDs, they were down. They felt like they could go ahead and still win out. That was 100% wrong right there. A little bit of action in the mid lane there. Nice trades. But yeah, I was surprised TA Nebula stuck around. That's something where you got to go ahead and abort. Oh.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the bot lane, Blitzcrank Cook lands on the Ivor, and after the botch dive, the Ignite is down. He flashes away, but he's going to burn no matter what. And Uvi gets a kill for himself, but River steps up and goes 1-for-1. Red buff is on the Kaisa. River does burn the Ghost to go 1-for-1 there. So a bit of a botched gank in the bot lane and putting a kill onto Uvi.
Yeah, but I mean, guess who got the other kill in response? They avenged him by taking out the Blitzcrank, and Aphelios now to 3 kills, 3 takedowns. And looking like maybe 900 gold above the Kaisa. That's scary. That's scary to lane against.
Yeah, that is some big damage coming out of the bot lane. Something else I just noticed right now. This is a different bot lane than we casted last week.
UVI and Meows for him. I thought Meows for him was there, just UVI wasn't.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I know for sure the 80 carry is a little different, and he was going 1-for-1 all the time. So, I mean, on a hyperscaling Kaisa champion like Kaisa, it's okay kind of going 1-for-1 because you want to hit those later item thresholds as soon as possible. We see a little bit of a contest right here. Ivern gets interrupted, and EQQ is just stepping up, has the red buff down, but is going to push him off of that scuttle. Holy Banana was first to rotate, so they're going to secure that bot lane scuttle for the other team. Meanwhile, Electron Storm puts some damage down onto Annie, and Ivern's just going to go to the other scuttle and says, okay, that's fine. I have more places to go.
Yeah, most definitely. But what's it called? The Gromp is stacked up, so going across map is not favorable for jungle. He had to go across map, and we'll go across again. Oh, unless he ganks, obviously, right? That's a big wave,
he's
though.
setting up. There's the hop, and there's a lot of slow, and Ornn is on the wrong side of this lane right now. Little Gleefer is just doing his best to collect his CS. They're going to give the kill over to him. He's going to try to answer one back, but Jorts is able to walk away, and this is going to be a pretty significant freeze for Oddmeister in the top lane.
Yeah, if you could go ahead and do it correctly, where you just got what three melees, three mages on top of whatever you got, or 2 and 2. I forgot the formula for the freezing, but if you could get that going, that's perfectly, that's great. Looks like it might crash out. Oh yeah, he's just going for the reset, the hard reset. But
bot lane putting down some damage. They're going at it right now. Orange Meatball throws out the hook before River gets the guaranteed stun, so a little bit of a misplay from them. But meanwhile, on the top side, we have a dive. EQQ goes up and is able to slay down Oddmeister. He does have the teleport to come back and collect his farm. Bloodbath all over the rifts.
Yeah, and then look at another pill in the bot lane.
They're back at it again. Orange Meatball flashes away, has the Ignite going down. River on a rampage secures his kill, and Meatball's going to keep himself alive. Ivern lands the Q, puts down the shield. He's going to get the slow. Double kill onto River. A 5-0 Aphelios 5 minutes into the game. That's a feels bad, man.
Yeah, that's 100% scary. River is an emergency sub, right? Or he's a sub as well. So, I mean, we've seen better elo teams lose out to lower elo teams when the ADC was like their primary hyper carry and they got gold on them. I don't know if you can recall, like in the beginning of the season, that one game we casted. I forgot the teams, but the Varus was nasty. I think it was Vayne as well. ADC who has a massive lead like this is very scary, because if you cannot get to him, which this team comp kind of helps keep him alive, the front to back will be nasty from this team fight. If they can go ahead and keep the Aphelios alive, he is going to melt everybody with the right guns.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've heard of 200 years, but you haven't heard of 5 minutes from the Aphelios. Still not able to get his mythic yet. I mean, I know it feels like it's been a long time being 5 kills on, but man, that would be such an early mythic spike if he was able to get it.
Yeah, that would be insane. I think he was like maybe 200 gold away from getting it. I honestly think that maybe 100. So on this next back, if they're gonna shove the wave and then reset just so you can start laning with the mythic, that would probably be best in my opinion. Just so you could have that advantage, that huge advantage, because Kai'Sa is not only outranged by the Thresh and the Aphelios, just having that one mythic already, or probably a Kraken Slayer, it's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be a very nasty lane for Kai'Sa.
Really interesting thing just happened here in the mid lane. Blitzcrank roamed up, walked over wards to look for a gank on the mid lane. Ivern was untraced, but they weren't able to pull that off. But Rumble goes forward. Flamesplitter is going backwards when he gets stunned. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Ornn training a little bit of damage onto Oddmeister, and he's playing it a little dangerously close to the chest. Ornhorn is blown, and here he goes. He lands the knockup onto Oddmeister, goes down to 100 HP, just a sliver of health left, and Ivern's not able to flash shield in time. Graves is going for the follow-up damage. If Ivern overextends, he does not. So big one-for-one play from a little Gleefer onto the Oddmeister in the top side of the map.
Yeah.
Oh, but then here's Orange Meatball. He goes up, lands the flay, puts down the damage, and River is here, and Aphelios is there to take him down. Orange Meatball gets for himself, but they're going to take their next neutral objective. A great rotation as Electron Storm goes down into the bot lane to collect that farm as well.
You love to see it. Although they get one play, it would have been way more if the Rumble's not there to help out. And he barely shoved, and he's not going to go anywhere. Probably going to be looking for the tower dive. But it's gonna be hard because a Rumble lays down his ultimate. The equalizer will definitely equalize that tower dive if he's able to place it in the right spot. So that's a scary tower dive. I was just against it. I think you just take the L on that one. Rumble did an incredible job helping out his bot lane, making sure they don't get too many plates. And then on top of this, they get a plate of their own in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to get several plates right here, especially with that Rift Herald about ready to go. They have 2 in the mid. It's going to be a 3v3. Kai'Sa's on the way up. It's going to be a 4v3 if they're not out soon enough. Ooh. And a flash done from Annie locks down River just momentarily. Orange Meatball going to try to get away, puts down the box. Is he going to be able to get away? He ticks, but Daisy's not going to be able to get the last hit. Here comes Kai'Sa, lands the W and just ults into all of them. Killer Instinct keeps him alive, cleanses the root from the Ivern. A little bit of an unnecessary cleanse as he doesn't move forward, but man, Uvi able to get in there and lock down. Huge shutdown goes onto the Kai'Sa, and it's going to be Hyper Carry versus Hyper Gary through the rest of this game.
Yeah, just with that one team fight, that skirmish where it picked up 2 kills with the bonus, the Kai'Sa's only down 200 gold now. It was 900 gold difference, but just with that one fight, came back and is only 200 gold behind. That comeback gold is no joke. Aphelios played around with danger where he shouldn't have. They were really fighting for nothing. The plate was not worth it. Oh, look at this though.
Yeah, Equalizer misses in the bot lane. They land a little bit of a slow. He goes forward. He has the phase rush proc. Actually, no phase rush, excuse me, but he's going to be able to lock it down, possibly. Holy Banana puts the shield down, but the Harpoon sees Annie go down as well. And there's another return kill. 8 kills right now for the Meatballs.
Yeah, so that's a nice return kill. They're going to be able to pressure. Hopefully Rumble gets some plates. But again, I can't say this enough. River and Orange Meatball just bit off more than they could chew. You how much gold did they get for that? It got split up. I think that play got split up into 3 people. I don't think that was worth giving Kaisa 600 gold. But if mid.
Yeah, mid lane, he goes forward. Blitzcrank is able to get him down. Flash is available. River is able to flash out of it. And there's a stun onto Uvi the Flash. And here comes so much damage, so much CC. And there is the Infernum. River is able to land big damage. He keeps himself alive. And Uvi is able to go down to the grave yet again. So a great outplay by River. I thought he was going to be done when he didn't flash the hook. But he's able to eat the damage, get out, and keep himself alive as Uvi overextends.
Yeah, I mean that's a good play. You got to be looking for those plays when you're down, because if you go even, you're not really going even. You're kind of gaining a win off of that. So, good effort by Nebula, but just unfortunately could not execute, cannot pick up the kill. But look at this, they're proactive.
Yeah, 4 members on the map.
Ooh.
Blitzcrank hooks misses just a little bit wide as Rivered is approaching. He was able to go back, heal up, and get his attack speed boost. Holy Banana is waiting off to the side. He has Tibbers, and he's by Bear Tibbers as TA Nebula just eats them down. Now, first you see him, now you don't, and they're going to be able to take their Ocean Drag of the game. Meanwhile, Ornhorn on the top lane whiffs a little bit wide as Oddmeister is able to answer back some damage. A little Gleefer, 1 level down, is going to be able to eat the turret wave up.
Yeah.
What an explosive game we got on our hands. Fantastic, Fat Man. Let's go.
I mean, we said it was going to be a slobber knocker, so I'm so glad that it lived up to it and it wasn't just a stomp. I mean, stomps are great for the team that's stomping, but as a viewer, I'm kind of just like, like you kind of want to see people like duke it out and actually try to fight their way in this series. But incredibly well done by TA Nebula. This is exactly what we saw in the series before. They would lose out. Oh, already some action.
Yeah, there's the hook from the Blitzcrank onto George. He falls down, but there's the Killer Instinct already burned, and River is here. Not the most optimal guns, but he's able to get the root onto the Blitzcrank. No death sentence available, but he's going to be able to throw it. Lands another hook onto the Blitzcrank. Oddmeister is here, and there's River over the wall. Is he going to get bursted? No, he's not. As Oddmeister has Meganar available, he's going to go forward, lands the stun. Is he going to ult him into the tower? There is no ult for Ubi to keep him alive, and he just eats the Kaisa Q. Just goes down right away. And here's River. We have the ultimate available for Graves in about 2 seconds. Not going to be able to get the collateral damage in time. River is able to walk away from that, but 2 levels down. EQQ steps forward, is going to walk through the turrets, and here's the Ivern, puts down the shield. Collateral damage lands, and River is going to fall overall. Just all that gold just keeps getting tossed back and forth like a freaking ping pong ball.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Oh man, that equalizer
Hook lands on an Uvi. The cleanse is a little bit too late, and the shutdown goes on the Jorts. And Daisy is here yet again. Here's the pet. Graves is there. Flash hook misses, and Daisy lands the knockup. They're not going to be able to take that down. But meanwhile, in the bot lane, Annie is able to get the solo kill onto Rumble. Equalizer was on a pretty long cooldown, so no equalizer available for that one. And maybe a pause coming up.
Maybe what's I seen them chatting, but I didn't see why. It looks like it was a quick pause. Did someone get taken out while they were like lagging potentially? That's what I'm kind of getting the gist of. I'm not sure, but there was a lot of action that just happened. I mean, in the past 5 minutes, I think the game went up 10 kills total. And also the past 5 minutes, Aphelios has gone 1-3-2 here in the top lane. They're just duking it out. Oddmeister and a little briefer. Oh man.
And there he goes, and he gets the stun onto Orange, just layering the CC over and over and over again. Little Weaver is getting all the damage, and here comes the Ornhorn, but Graves is already here. Flash is not available. He's gonna be brittle and broken as EQQ goes down there to help a little Weaver secure that kill. George just a little bit behind the play yet again.
Yeah, that's tough. You hate to see that, especially as an Ivern who wants to be there for his team. And let like the camps kind of just get their timer off. It looks like he's falling behind. Very fast here, because TA Nebula, when we saw they got the tempo of the game, even though they were down in the early minutes, yeah, they were kind of like an avalanche. Once they started going, there was really no stopping them. So this is looking like the beginning of the end for Meatballs if they can if they can figure out a way to probably find some discipline, because there's a lot of fights where it's clearly they're at a disadvantage, but they just do not want to let go. Electron Storm missed the equalizer. I think that's when you want to go ahead and back off from the Annie, just because that is a huge amount of damage from you that you're going to be missing out on, and potentially Annie's going to get another rotation of the stun. Stuck around, let Annie play with the vision, and just basically Annie got another kill from that. 6 stacks onto the Dark Seal, and that's the beautiful thing about ability power champs, is they can build the Dark Seal, and if they're feeling it, they'll go into Medjai's, and a 25 stack Medjai's champion is a scary champion. So we'll see if Meatballers got what it takes to really like slow down this avalanche of TA Nebula, because they definitely got all the tempo.
And look at all this wards around the dragon coming up in about 40 seconds. They really need to prioritize marking that Annie. Too many times Annie has been able to get onto the Aphelios, and you have to be able to keep him safe if you want to have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, most definitely. Just plays with the vision so well. Right there in the river, they lost to Annie for just a second, but Holy Banana showed them the light in that mid fight. Oh my God, already again. Oh.
Yeah, Oddmeister just eating a lot of damage, but meanwhile, on the Raptor kills, there it is, blowing up yet again. River's able to flash the damage, but the damage is already done as EQQ has the ghost popped, or has the movement speed, I should say. He flashes over the wall to try to rock down River. River's going to be able to get away from this, flashes forward, gets him with the smoke show. EQQ goes unstoppable, 6-1 and 6 as they're going to claim this dragon. He puts down the Rift Herald as well. And that's going to march all the way down to bot outer. We're going to put some gold in the Kai'Sa's pocket, and you feel like this is going to be the beginning of the end.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Ooh, a little bit of fumble in the top lane, but I don't think that matters too much. As far as like their tempo goes for the whole game, just a misstep. But I mean, they're getting the objectives. They got the dragon, they got the Rift Herald, they got the bottom turret. A lot of standing gold is going to slowly start dwindling into the pockets of TA Nebula. And oh man, Meatballers, they kind of lose. They're losing sight of their opponents. Holy Banana won't reveal himself, but at the same time, you gotta kind of understand, if Holy Banana's not on the map, you gotta assume wherever the team is trying to kite you to, that Holy Banana's gonna be there. This is a team. This is team competition. You know what I mean? This is not solo queue where the Annie's gonna randomly be in the top side or randomly be like on a side lane. Most definitely, the Annie's going to be rotating over. You went aggressive. You kind of missed the equalizer. Just back out. You know what I mean? Be a little bit more disciplined. Oh, no.
Ivern face checks the bush right where Graves is. They both meet on the red side, and the teams are already collapsing. And look at that. The blast cone hook pulls him back to his death.
What was that
Big
animation?
kill for TA Nebula. Meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, Electron Storm going to be able to get away from him, but Oddmeister is going to be picking up a fight for himself. He's going to go Mega here pretty soon, and he's there to provide a little bit of assistance, and Holy Banana is just going to be that buffer zone to get him away. Meanwhile, Ubi on a killing spree, able to get on top of the Aphelios. He does not have a killer sync available just yet, waiting for that cooldown. He might go to finish him off. He's not going to, as Annie on Holy Banana takes down Oddmeister on the backside of that play. So what ended up as an early pick became a very significant 3-0 disadvantage. That Baron's going to be up in about 50 seconds as well, and with the team comp they have, it's going to be fast. Hook lands onto the thresh. Hook, line, and sinker as he goes down. The Root is going to see Blitzcrank go 1-for-1 as Jorts gets a return kill for himself.
Wow. In the bot lane as well, Widow Griefer went ahead and took down Electron Storm. Let me give you a little bit of break because the action is jam-packed. We're more than a kill a minute. This is what, 35, almost 2 kills per minute. This is an action-packed game. TA Nebula is seeing plays where they're 2-3 steps ahead of the enemy team. The Thresh is nonchalant, just sticking where the turret is. You think that's where your safety is. They're kind of waiting for the wave, probably gonna stack it up for the Aphelios, but meows for him. Blitzcrank comes running down and just yanks him over to his team, and that's another kill for them. And then that helps them take down the inner turret. So those are the things that you got to go ahead and start processing, because TA Nebula is seeing plays days ahead of Meatballers, and again they are taking over this game, and it's theirs to lose already. I mean, 22 and 13. I think it's like 12 kills to 6 in like the past like 8 minutes. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, but Baron has spawned. Electron Storm does have teleport available, but no flanking wards. He's going to teleport on a ward, and here comes Blitzcrank, gets Thrush over the wall, and Uvi is unstoppable. Meanwhile, big ultimate from Aphelios is gonna waken him up just a little bit. Equalizer is not off cooldown just yet, so they're missing a lot of AoE. Ornhorn is blown, and there it goes. Knock up onto Oddmeister, and they just turn to take their kills. Jort's not anywhere near to be able to put the shields down, and Holy Banana flashes forward to secure the Baron. Collateral damage is able to secure the ace and the Baron Nashor at 21 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. Now this is gonna be tough though, because depending on which inhibitors they get, which, you know what I mean, which plays happen, is things gonna go good for Meatballers? Is TA Nebula gonna recall when they shouldn't? Because the dead timers aren't that long at this point of the game. So are they gonna really be able to snowball this into a win, or are they gonna let the Meatballers get farmed up? That's a big mistake.
Flashes forward into his death, looking for a death sentence, but doesn't get one. And look at that ISO Q from Kaisa. Ugi tags Rivered over the wall, and all the gold on the Aphelios doesn't do.
Oh no, I think I lagged out. The pool goes ahead and confirms the kill onto Oddmeister. They're going into the Nexus turrets. Equalizer's trying to help out, but it's no good. He didn't go for the wave, he went for the kills, and unfortunately it did not pan out. Cream, I'm sorry about that. Jordan went ahead and sacrificed himself to try to keep the Nexus turrets up. The respawn timers are low. Is this something that they're gonna go ahead and be able to defend? UVI is low.
He flashes forward. Gale Forces secures the root on the Annie, gets a shutdown. And here's the beginning of a 200-year cycle. Ornn is unstoppable, but here's Griefer. The death sentence does not land on the Griefer. She's not able to appeal for his AD carry. River steps forward, is able to land the root, and he's just very slowly whittling down this Ornn. He takes Thrush Brittle. He's going to be able to secure the kill for himself, but River just chops him down, is able to get some big shutdowns, but the damage is done. The Nexus is sitting at 700 HP. Just a couple of auto attacks is all it's going to take for TA Nebula to secure this game.
Yeah, that it's pretty much set in stone here. Meatballers are going to have to do some wild plays. They're going to have to just continue the Confiesta. I don't see. Oh, okay. Meows for him really flashed and stole the blue buff from UVI. So nice playfulness in a game they feel is already theirs. Electron Storm is gonna want to take that wave and immediately dip ASAP because the teleport's coming out on the bot side for Annie.
And they're just gonna sit in there. Tibbers is used a little bit early on the Oddmeister. He's gonna be able to kite that out. We have Kaisa's Void Seeker does land, but not going to use it to Killer Instinct himself into any killer situations. Ornn and Graves are kind of not falling behind, but they're bringing up the rear to secure this game. They have to deal with the super minions, Baroned up minions, as well as the inhibitor towers. And there is no tower for defense. They're just going to sit and watch bottom right. But look at that. Oddmeister goes in forward, lands the ultimate onto Graves, but it's not going to be able to secure him. He goes down, and Uvi uses the Killer Instincts very early. Electron Storm goes down. Kaisa gets a double kill. EQQ on the other side gets a kill for himself. And there is another clean ace, and that is TA Nebula with a very convincing comeback victory 24 minutes into the game.
Yeah, TA Nebula, they fix up their early game. They're going to be a scary team because they just know how to play mid game to the late game. They did not mess around. They kept the pedal to the metal. They looked for fights. They looked for picks. They made sure to use all their pressures. They're using their presence as well, something that you don't really see too many amateur teams do. Meatballers, I give them kudos. They got the lead, but once you get the lead, sometimes it's good to just sit back a little bit because even though you feel they're the better team, even though they might be better macro-wise or mechanically, you should still definitely sit back because you're putting them in an uncomfortable situation. TA Nebula is going to have to make the plays, which they did, but I feel like Meatballers kind of handled them that meatball sub on a plate, you know what I mean? And CA Nebula had the sauce and ate it all up. So unfortunately for Meatballers, that game got way out of hand and they were just completely taken out. But they have another game in this series to try something new, try the same things over again, and basically just have another attempt at getting a win in the series.
Yeah, I mean, when you mention slow it down, it's basically if you don't know where they are, assume they're in the worst possible position, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like what happened is they had a lead and they feel like, okay, we have a lead. We just need to put the pedal to the metal. And they felt like they needed to take those risks and they wanted to rush the game.
Yeah.
And those rush decisions really ultimately was their downfall. But like you said, you got to give them kudos for being able to put that early game showing on, being able to get that significant goal lead and put it onto the Aphelios. It's just as a team they weren't able to protect the president. Um, you know, definitely wasn't a Zelensky in this case. Mr. President went down 8 too many times. So we're sitting there. We're in the post game lobby. We're going to take a little bit of a break as we get everything set up for game 2. So stick around. Don't go too far. We will be back and we'll see if the Meatballers are able to serve up a good sub of their own. Don't go too far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're getting ready to go into draft for game 2 of Dominate Sundays between TA Nebula and the Meatballers, with the Zoidberg as their team icon. Woo, 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 woo. They were throwing the game up quite a bit back and forth. That was a very explosive game 1. They had a Philios getting super far ahead, but that Kaisa is just unreal. Super unbalanced right now. I mean, you've seen it all over the place in pro play.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Power pick, a very nice power pick, and even though OV was behind, tremendously found ways to get back in there, and that's not just the champ. I feel like it's the person piloting the champ. So kudos to OV, doing well on the Kaisa, and oh, looks like I don't have a draft link. Has the draft started already?
Yeah, I think we're just missing the draft link, but that's okay. We'll just kind of operate based off of the Discord. So it's Meatballers are going to get all their bans again for this game. Ironically enough, they were losing their bans because of the emergency sub. TA Nebula said, no, it's fine, keep your bans. But then when they set up the draft link, they didn't set it up correctly, so that's why they lost their bans in game 1. So bans starting off, we are looking at Rel, Maokai, and Tristana being banned away on the side of TA Nebula. Meatballers are banning away the Nico, Annie, and Kaisa. So they're looking for a very different game 2.
Yeah, most definitely. They want to go ahead and remove all those champions, but what they didn't have the bans before, so kind of good that they're able to scope out the competition and see what they were gonna pick. LeBlanc being chosen is kind of scary in TA Nebula's hands, in my opinion, up against the Meatballers, just because that is one champion you don't want to snowball. Renekton up in the top lane, I like that. Nice, comfortable pick, and do well versus most top laners, so I'm not mad at that. And then the Ezreal, very, very comfortable, safe champion. So if they do try to go Blitzcrank again, you know, Ezreal could offset that with his Arcane Shift. So already some good changes. Learned a lot from game 1. They're going to go ahead and see what they could do game 2. And Vayne picked up by TA Nebula. Whoa.
Yes, sir. So Vayne is a little bit of an oddity. We don't see Vayne a lot, but OV looking forward to those hyper carries, looking to be that tank shredder. I mean, Meatballers didn't really have a tank team comp last time around, but Vayne just likes to be able to kite around, go invisible, do their own thing. And Lee Sin, so looking for some proactivity, Ek looking to keep the pedal to the metal as we go into game 2.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Ek Lee Sin. I think it's gonna be a nice little jungle matchup here. The Nidalee chosen in response, so I think they're gonna try to go tempo to tempo, see which jungler can affect the map the most. I like that because Nidalee most definitely can be a hyper strong early to mid champion in the jungle, but you got to be very skilled on that champion. So we'll see. Ornn and Malphite taken out in response.
Yeah, and those are just basically those safe weak side top laners that can play safe into Renekton. If you're playing a Renekton, you're looking to be that lane bully. You're looking to deny the XP and to really assert your dominance on the lane, especially with the Renekton Nidalee combo. Point and click stun from the Renekton. If he gets on top of the enemy top laner, Nidalee can just land that spear and you're all good. Yeah. We don't know that this isn't a Vayne top lane, though.
That's what I was kind of thinking, just because like I could see them pulling that out, just try to be pub stompy and really take out the Meatballers in a certain way. That the hovers right now are telling me Vayne's in the bot lane, but what are they gonna choose in response to the Rakan showing? Gragas, that would be a little outdated, but it's still fine in my opinion.
Yeah, we saw the Singed last week, and that Singe from Little Guifer, it's so hard to say his name correctly, but just ran terror on the enemy bot lane. He was able to get in, flash on top, and get those flings. And Ezreal can only blink away so far before Singe just runs him down, especially once you get that Rylai's proc on top of him. It's just very difficult to move. And a Vex pick, is this going to be a Vex support? Might just be a hover, we're not for sure. I'm really surprised how this draft went, though, because Meatballers picked Renekton on R2, and that gave TA Nebula the opportunity to pick that top lane counter pick early on.
Yeah.
But they instead opted to go for the Lee Sin, so priority picking their high tempo jungler, which got matched eventually. So I'm really surprised that happened.
Yeah, I think they're not really trying to go for like a skill based comp or actually use their draft to get the best team comp per se or lanes. I think they're really just kind of going for funsies here and seeing if they can win and close out the series with just champions that they want to play. I mean, the Singe, we saw the Singe from TA Nebula last time, so I don't think that's too cheesy of a pick. Um, but you know what I mean. A Widow Griefer didn't do too well on that Singe, if we remember correctly. So, I mean, there's that, and plus Kled. If Kled gets fed, Meatballers might have like an opportunity to really go for it. It looks like Renekton's gonna go in the mid lane, or because I don't see Kled going up against LeBlanc in my opinion. How do you feel about that?
I did see Kled was one of the prioritized champions from the mid laner on the Meatballers.
Oh, really?
Because he is subbing in and he is a top lane main. So we saw
Oh,
Rumble in game one. We're gonna see Kled in game two, possibly.
oh
Or
yeah,
it could be Renekton. They could have picked Kled into Singe. The nice thing is when you flex that Renekton into the solo lane, you can choose whichever one you want to go and take that Singed matchup and the Vex matchup. So it's kind of a 5-head draft from Meatballers, but is it what they need to be able to sustain the win? Not 100% sure because you need people to get on top of them, right? You need Renekton
yeah.
to get on top. You need Kled to get on top. And Vex just has so much in terms of being able to peel because as soon as they get on top of the Vex, just pop shield and then they just start running away.
Yeah, most definitely. Also, on top of that, I feel like Renekton would be better just because the point and click stun. I feel like there's too much outplay potential for the LeBlanc in the mid lane if the Kled goes there. You know what I mean? If the LeBlanc has the W, recalls back to original spot. So if you do land one of those trap hooks or what are they called again from Kled, his I believe it's Q. If he does land that, which is like his main part of his combo of his trading, LeBlanc could just poof right back to the original spot. So a lot of outplay potential against the Kled. I like the Renekton there in the mid lane. Way better point and click stun, and you're able to go ahead and animation cancel it if you go Gore Drinker and deal out your damage. Yeah.
And we can confirm it is Kled top and Renekton in the mid lane due to champion select because we're off the screen right now. Going through these bans. So, yeah, like you said, LeBlanc, a lot of her damage is being able to proc that QW. And if she does try to go the QW combo to get that damage, Renekton can just have that stun ready, land that auto attack, and then return that damage in heart or likewise.
Yep.
So
That's
it's
cool.
also going to be
go
hard
ahead.
for LeBlanc to chip away at him.
Yeah. What's it called? I was gonna say. Plus, LeBlanc still kind of rush Static Shiv. I've seen. You said it's felt you feel still comfortable with it, even though it's been nerfed, and I still see it get built onto LB. So the wave clear there. Renekton's not gonna. If Renekton does get into a point where it tries to bully Holy Banana, the Static Shiv will help out melt the wave that much more. Just because you do the one auto to W, you clear up pretty much everything except for the cannon. So we'll see. I think it's gonna be another Saber knocker. A lot of champions chosen off of just trying to maybe potentially ego against Meatballers, or just try to have fun and see what kind of chaos they can do in the rift.
Yeah, I mean, Holy Banana, you saw how he was able to navigate vision. So if there's anyone that can pilot this champion, I'm sure Holy Banana is going to be able to. He's just going to be kind of going around the backside, going in, getting off his damage, getting back out. But Vayne, usually when you play a Vayne in your comp, you want a lot of peel or a lot of lockdown. So Vayne is able to get the damage off and is able to land those procs on the W, the silver bolts over and over and over again. This isn't necessarily a comp that's really conducive to a Vayne, but if Vayne is able to get ahead, it's going to be really hard for the other team to be able to retreat, especially if he has those movement speed bonuses going on.
Definitely. Yep, but just to round up the comps, I kind of like TA Nebula's just a little bit more. The double melee, no Sejuani, goes in Italy. It's like early game galore. Ezreal, you have your late game with him, but can he really do something if Vayne gets out of hand, if Vex tags him? So I'll go TA Nebula for this game is my prediction.
I'll go TA Nebula as well, just because I just see how well Holy Banana is able to take advantage of the vision, and I think they'll be able to put down the damage, especially if they kind of play around that mid laner like they have beforehand. He's not the one that has to pop off on the scoreline, but he is the one that makes the plays happen, and the rest of the team is able to follow up. Yeah. But anything can happen. We know that all the time. These comebacks have been something, so I'd really like to see TA Nebula start off a really strong early game and be able to sustain that the entire time. That's the one thing I want to see them kind of tune up just a little bit, because once they go into playoffs, which is a couple weeks away, teams might be able to take advantage of that weak early game, and they're not going to be able to throw leads as much as they're used to. So hopefully they're able to shore that up. We're going to go to a little bit of a break while we set up for in-game. Don't go too far, as game 2 of our game for TA Nebula against Meatballers is in the oven. Stick around. Don't catch fire. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to waste any time as we see a little bit of shenanigans. X steps forward, and Little Weaver is there as well to provide some poison as a little bit of a lair to get away. Nidalee spears are being chucked left and right, and the teams are starting to congregate a little bit. I don't think TA Nebula wants these hands at the very beginning of the game.
No, for some reason that's when they're at their weakest, so they want to go ahead and play back. Sit far away from there, because look, they invaded and they revealed, I think, pretty much every single member of Meatballers, but for whatever reason they still stuck around in their side of the jungle and didn't try to go for like a ward or anything to confirm that the Nidalee was starting bot side. But going full defensive in the early game, that might be a change of pace. That might be the way they fix their early game problems. We'll see.
Whoa, Lee Sin going with a sweeper? There goes all of his ward jumps. That's interesting.
Yeah. Maybe this team will assist them. Hey, drop that ward. All right, Singe not proxying the wave. That's kind of that's kind of interesting. They're just playing it safe.
Hashtag just Singe things. He's going to be eating quite a bit of minion damage as Oddmeister steps forward to get the damage down as well. Lands the Q, gets the displacement. But he gets flinged and is going right away into melee form. And there's the ghost from the Singe. Meanwhile, on the bot side, we see first blood from the Ezreal. Ovi goes forward. He's going to land that last auto attack. Yes, he does. As River is going to be able to answer back the damage. And there is no flash from the Ezreal right now. Or sorry, from the Vayne. PTA is propped onto Ovi right now as Little Weaver gets his kill onto the top lane as well. And we are wasting no time in game number 2.
No. We're at a kill a minute already again. And Ovi. Oh! Whoa.
Ovi in the bot side gets taken down by River. He steps forward and gets the damage, and Ovi eagling possibly just a little bit as River on that PTA. Once he procs it, that's some big damage.
Yeah, you don't want to trade like that. And plus, you used all sums. Ezreal got the range on you. You're in the middle of the creeps. A little bit off more than they could chew, but it's okay. I still believe in TA Nebula. As you know, they just get like a steroid, a huge buff in the mid game to the late game. So,
ooh, look at this at the red buff. Italy has invaded. Ek is at just a little bit of HP. He jumps forward, gets the electrocute prot, and Jorts with the invade on that accelerated jungler on the Nidalee. He's going to be able to go forward and get that damage down. Meanwhile, Orange Meatball goes forward, lands a knockup on the Ovi. River not able to follow up and get that damage down, but he's going to blink forward as well. And here comes the damage from Ovi, and they're going to go 1-for-1 yet again. River does not have the vision. Yes, he does. There it is. And George is there. He gets the heal onto River, but it's not going to be enough. There's the red buff slow onto Uvi. He lands the spear, goes forward with the jump, is able to get the big damage done, jumps again, and Jorts gets his second kill of the game.
Oh, then in the mid lane as well. Yo, kudos to Jorts. All right, so Meatballers, they are swinging away yet again in the early game. And TA Nebula is going at a deficit, no problem, because it isn't as big as the one before. So they completely steamrolled the game with like...
Oh, he goes in! Ek lands a Q onto a minion, but he's able to get away, but the flash forward from Holy Banana secures the kill. I thought the play was over as soon as he hit the Q onto the minion, but he goes forward and is able to secure the kill and keeps his flash as well. Top lane, Little Gweefer is low. Oddmeister's taken away from the poison, but Ek is on his way. Is Oddmeister going to get Skarl in time? He has just a little bit of rage left to go, dodges the Sonic Wave. Does not have the trinket available to go for the dive. Gweefer's just going to back off.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I thought they were going to try to ego it and then take down the Kled. That would have been a big mistake. 2 kills onto the Kled will make for a bad time for Sinch's lane. I'm liking it so far. This is pretty much what I assumed. Again, a little slobber knocker, but it is going a little bit cleaner for TA Nebula. They are getting the better of them. Earlier this time around, like I said before, they were down like 2-3k gold like right away in the first 5 minutes of the game. This time it's a little bit more even, with the bot lane of TA Nebula having a nice amount of gold in their pockets, whereas before they really made something out of nothing because the Kai'Sa was so behind and was still able to get kills.
And meanwhile, in the mid lane, Electron Storm, he just keeps pushing in that wave. So I think he's just trying to keep LeBlanc under the tower, trying to keep him pushed back and negate the roams that makes Holy Banana such a dangerous mid laner in this league.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's usually how I feel sometimes when I play and I lane up against the...
Ooh, River to ease forward into the Vayne. Exhausted is popped onto Ovi. He is ignited and ticking away, but Ovi is able to turn around and get the damage done. Those silver bolts are so effective, and River not able to secure the damage to get that kill.
Wow. That's why I wasn't too mad about the Vex picks, because I have been seeing Zoe a lot more, and it's just a higher base damage is what keeps her there, and it makes her a fine support, plus the setup with the bubble. So not too mad. Vex technically does have a little bit of a setup and has high base damage on the abilities. You get fed, you start taking down the enemy like they have been every single time you're up, then, or your ignite is up. You're gonna be one strong Vex even though you're on the support role. So kudos to TA Nebula.
And look at this, Gweefer on the top side looking to proxy the wave. Spear does not land, and Cliff goes the wrong direction with the ultimate. Gweefer lands the fling, does not have the stickiness down yet, but no team is going to help him out. George has to get away, pops the blast cone to get out. Does have the flash available if he needs it. Flashes from Gweefer. He keeps running through the tower, but he's not going to be able to take him down as Gweefer Gweefs in the mid lane. But meanwhile, on the bot side, Ovi's going to be able to kite away. Can he get there? Meatball's not going to be able to secure the kill. Can he get a range for the auto? And that's a double kill from Ovi on the Vayne.
That was a 2v1. The meows for him, the Vex came late. Just didn't participate at all. That was a nice 2v1. Got the angle onto the Ezreal and finished off the Rakan, who is level 3, very, very behind Rakan. And that basically nullifies that champion because you cannot go in that squishy. You're pretty much as a fail safe. You're not a true engager. Oh, here.
Yeah, George goes forward to contest the red buff, but didn't see LeBlanc was on the way and falls down to Ek. Meanwhile, Oddmeister is looking for the flank, but Vex on the roam is able to stop that from happening. Great invade from TA Nebula.
Yeah, TA Nebula. Yeah, it looks like they're going to steamroll this game. Over, under 21 minutes. What do you think?
I think it's going to go a little bit over. I could see a little bit of a throw. I could see them having a little too much fun and doing something like that. I mean, it is only like a 2,000 gold lead right now, but you just see there's big gold onto the vein at this moment. Looks like opting for the static shield to get the wave clear, but Electron Storm going really low as well. It does still have the Dominus available if he needs it, and he is going to stick around to try to catch this wave. Nidalee is not going to path over to help him, though.
Yeah, I think all the momentum is on TA Nebula's side, even though it is a close game still, and it still can be anyone's game. I just think the momentum is all on the side of TA Nebula. The LeBlanc is having her way in the mid lane, and now is going to start roaming, is going to start capitalizing off to the Nidalee. Nidalee, a more early game-oriented champ. If you make her fall off, you don't let her capitalize off of her damage, off of her... Oh!
Yeah, Nidalee's here. Orange Meatball goes forward and tries to put down some damage, but Vex is going to keep him alive just for a little bit longer as Rivered is able to get the kill, but Ovi has so much damage. Letho Tempo is fully proc, lands the Condemn onto the wall. George is able to go forward to get the shutdown. So Vayne overstepping just a little bit, but a 2-for-2 overall to answer the game, or the gank. Well done, well played by Ovi. I thought he was going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I thought so too. But once I saw the Condemn onto the Ezreal, I was like, maybe this isn't going to happen. But at the same time, I don't know if Ovi was going to be able to confirm the kill onto Ezreal if he didn't use the Condemn there. So kudos to him. I thought it was going to be a for sure clean sweep for Ovi. So Meatballers, a little bit of life maybe? 4 kills on the Ezreal. That's no joke. 4 kills onto the Nidalee. Another champion that's no joke. Got the Dark Seal.
It's not like they have a really strong or really big beefy front line. So if Nidalee lands a spear, they might be able to take down the damage before they're able to get any of it off. Meanwhile, Weaver was in there invading. Vex is trying to clear a ward. Nidalee steps up, but Lee Sin is ready and waiting. Misses the Sonic Wave early, and here's an explosive team fight. Because Meatball is not going to be able to get away. Jorts and River are going to try to get their poke as they retreat. LeBlanc is back in base, does have the teleport available, so just going to wait and see. Sonic Wave lands onto the Renekton. Is he going to be able to buffer it? He insects him back. Doesn't get the ward hop, but it is fine as he lands the kick back into the rest of the team. So they're able to secure more gold onto Ovi. 10th kill of the game for the AD carry.
Nice. That's a strong Vayne. Pretty much showing that he can take on 2 members of Meatballers already. So once the towers go down and you kind of got to start responding to some champions in the lane, I don't know what they're going to do to respond to the Vayne because Rakan is super low. Misses the... top lane!
Meanwhile, in the top lane, we got Oddmeister trying to get the auto attack. Can he get back on Skarl? He does! But Weaver has so much HP, he's going to be able to take him down on the bot lane across the map. A shutdown onto the Vayne. They probably landed that spear that they needed. Double kill from Jorts onto the Vex. A 6-1 Nidalee is nothing to scoff at.
No, 7 stacks onto the Dark Seal, goes into the Medjai's, can really snowball into the mid and late game and become a threat. And like you said, no traditional beefy champion on the side of TA Nebula, so one spear can really affect the whole team fight because if they're able to capitalize off the damaged goods from TA Nebula, this could be Meatballers' game. So they're not out of it. I apologize for the 21 and under. You were correct. They found a way to get back into this game a little bit, and they're showing signs of life.
They are, but I mean, just take stock on everything around the map. LeBlanc almost has this tower down, so in addition to the 1 kill and the 50 CS lead, does get every single tower plate. The root lands, the follow-up, not 1 tame, but 2 chains. Oh my god, I can't speak today, but Electron Storm pops the Dominus, get a storm around him, but meanwhile on the bot lane, Orange Meatball gets Ovi down yet again. George goes forward, puts down some damage onto Meows for him, and Vex is limping away. True Shot Barrage is going to go wide, but does land it onto the minions. LeBlanc is not on the way down, so they're playing it close to the chest. Ek is able to dodge the knockup from Orange Meatball. but River just putting damage on again and again, and Cream Eye George is able to go forward and gets a kill for himself. A two-man knockup from the stun, but he misses the follow-up Sonic Wave as Nidalee gets a double kill. They're 8th of the game and a fully stacked Dark Seal. Electron Storm is on the way up as Guifer is putting down some damage. There is no ultimate from the Kled available. He is grounded, so he's not going to be able to follow through. Lands the Q, but he is just ticking away, and that Rylai's is just so oppressive.
Ooh.
And Holy Banana is there. A Q, follow-up, auto-attack him to death. Chain does not land onto the Electron Storm. I don't think they're going to be able to secure the kill. But the Ocean Dragon goes to Meatballers. So that means they will not be able to sustain the Nidalee Spear poke. They are able to proxy the wave, and Electron Storm does not have the dominance available. Not going to be long for this world. He was looking to try to get the damage down onto Singe, but he's just playing it really close to the chest. Can he buffer the W to get the stun under and secure a kill for himself? Doesn't have the Gore Drinker available, and they're just toying with the food right now, but Jorts is stepping up and is going to be able to cover for this.
Uh-oh.
Big spear lands. The stickiness is down. Holy Banana is forced to flash away. Jorts is looking for a follow-up kill, but meanwhile on the bot side, they're trying to put on the engage for themselves. The ultimate from Vex goes wide, and Rivered is fleeing, lands a True Shot Barrage onto him, an Orange Meatball. It lands him, hits him with a quickness. Ovi is charmed, but Rivered does not have the mana to go forward and get down. Here comes Kled with the ultimate. That's kind of a little bit of a fluff, but here comes the Rift Herald. It's going to pop down and secure a tower for themselves, and all of the plates are off the map. They secured 13 out of 15 available plates, and that accounts for a lot of the gold lead.
Oh yeah, most definitely. 4K up, but they're down on kills. Does not matter because exactly what you said. Took away all those plates. And whoo, take a little bit of a break. That was a whole lot of action there. Like almost 2 kills per minute. Oh.
I don't think I can. Flings him onto the stickiness. He gets the empowered W. Press the attack is there. And Dominus is ticking away. Holy Banana is going to be there to secure the kill. 1 blink, 2 blink. Now you see him. Now you don't. And the Magician secures the 3rd kill of the game for the killing spree.
Definitely. Well, I'm interested to see if George is going to go ahead and complete that Magi's ASAP. I think he has the goal for it. You need 1250. Where is he at? Oh, he's recalling with only 5 with the whole top side left. Yeah, I guess. Usually if you don't really got anything to do to recall, you just recall.
Probably feels like he can't go in there, but Oddmeister gets caught up, doesn't have flash available, and he's just kiting it out as best he can. There's the Sonic Wave. He got tagged with something, but here's Ovi, does not get the condemn. And they're just kiting away ever so well. Jorts gets that big spear, and they're going to follow forward. Vex lands the CC. Jorts goes in so deep, and there goes the shutdown in all of the stacks, but it's going to be worth it as Holy Banana trying to kite his way out, and River is able to get the shutdown on the LeBlanc yet again, and a big team fight victory for the Meatballers.
Yeah. Whoa. Meatballers doing incredibly well in the mid game, usually where TAN kind of steamrolls. So they're hanging on. This Slobber Knocker, I'm loving it. They're going back and forth, takedown after takedown after takedown, 2 kills per minute. They're just looking for plays. They're really just trying to make a statement here, whether win or lose. Meatballers are nothing to play with. Yo, that's incredible there for the Meatballers. I'm looking at the goal differences, and it's the only scary one is the mid lane. Renekton is non-existent as far as the gold goes. LeBlanc almost at 8K, Renekton at 4,600. So that is a huge discrepancy. Also, the Kled is significantly far behind the Singed, just because the Singed has been able to farm up and also take advantage of some of the kills with LeBlanc. Oh, Electron Storm. I don't think this is his fight to take.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to clear out the wave and going to go back. I mean, you know the lore. Do not chase Singed, no matter how tasty he looks. Nidalee is kind of hovering just to try to answer a play and does have that burst potential if Singe oversteps it, but little Guifer doesn't feel like Guifing right now. Objective timers. Dragon's coming up in a minute, and you can see the wards are already kind of put out from the side of the Meatballers. They're kind of controlling those bushes, so Nidalee can land those spears from the darkness. And look at all that damage from Ovi. Is forced to tumble out. True Shot Barrage is not going to land, but Holy Banana looking for a kill of himself onto Oddmeister. He lands the displacement. He is unstoppable, uses the ultimate. They're going to try to kite it away, but here comes Jorts just trying to put down the damage. And Holy Banana is just toying with them, going through the jungle. He is behind enemy lines right now. But in the top side, Electron Storm is trying to kite it out as best he can. Puts down the damage. Is the Q going to be enough? It is not. And the Triumph keeps Singed alive. Big damage right now. Look at that. Echoes down almost instantaneously to the damage. They're not going to be able to keep himself enough. He's not able to get those spears off again and again. Chain lands, but here comes Oddmeister. Steps forward, lands that last auto attack, and Vex is on the back line. Here comes Ovi. Tries to go through the team. Gets a condemn onto the wall, but River gets the Q, and the Mystic Shot keeps him alive. Meows for him does not have the ultimate available. Orange Meatball steps forward to try to put down some damage. Oddmeister does not land the displacement. And he's going to be forced to go back to the mid wave, and I think the teams just have to reset and fight again.
Yeah, that's that. These are the team fights that really get nothing out of them because they're not going for the dragon. They're not trying to force it. They're just going to recall. But in them recalling, the respawn timers are so low that they're going to be able. TA Nebula is going to be able to respond. Okay, never mind. Oddmeister and Orange Meatball.
Teleport on the bot lane. Holy Banana's there, going to force them off. And it looked like Jorks was going to get there before the Lee Sin. So Holy Banana forced to do that. But cooldowns are a thing. If the jump isn't there, there's one jump. There's the other jump. Follows up and goes backwards. They read the play. Are they going to be able to land a follow-up spear? Holy Banana is just jumping all over him. But here's Oddmeister yet again. Holy Banana, what kind of cooldowns do you have? 2 seconds, 1 second. Are you going to get away? There's the displacement, and it's not going to be able to land. Oddmeister has the power-up speed, and Holy Banana breaks their ankles yet again. River on the backside lands the Mystic Shot, and that red buff should take him down, or will it? He has the damage. Oddmeister, all he needs is an auto attack. He's not going to be able to land it. Misses the ultimate yet again. And Holiness, your Holiness is saved. He is still alive. Vex goes forward with the ultimate, gets the damage down. Everfrost lands, but River just able to kite away. And there's the spear to take down Ovi yet again. And all of that gold does nothing if you are on the respawn timer. Jort steps forward, gets his 12th kill of the game. Back to these Metrite stacks. Weaver's going to secure the vision, but I don't think he's going to be able to push him off.
Oh man, yo, take a break. What was that? Holy Banana survived, and then Ovi just goes in to die? What was that? He got a little too brave on that play, and then just goes down. That's gonna be the dragon for Meatballers unless Lee Sin can pull something.
Oh, there's Singe looking to get the play. He tries to get the fling onto Jorts, and there's the big dragon range kick. They're not gonna be able to secure the kill. Ek does get the dragon. True Shot Barrage does land, but is not enough to secure a kill. And overall, they had the advantage, but just that pressure that Weaver's able to put on that backline is just so intense.
Yeah, what was that? They were able to fully.
Oh, there's the damage, lethal tempo. There's the stun. Mystic Shock lands. He steps forward and Rivered ease into the team and secures that kill. 9-4, unstoppable is the Ezreal.
Yeah, Ezreal's fully online. He's got the Muramana.
They're going for Baron.
Loaded. I like this. I like this aggressiveness, but
they're putting the pressure on. Holy Bananas on the bot lane doesn't have teleport. They're putting their damage into it. They have double AD comps. I don't know how I feel about it either, especially with Singed on his way. But I mean, Ovi is back. Holy Bananas on the bot lane. They don't really have any carries, but they're gonna step forward. They're gonna take this kill, and Ezreal gets another kill for himself. And Guifer is just all on his own on the backside. But you know as well as anyone else, do not chase Singed. Sonic Wave stops the recall timer, and Holy Banana is just free firing on that bot lane tower.
Stopped all the backs. Only one back's gonna go through.
Oh, they're stopping them all. They're stopping them all. Ek goes down. Rivered is godlike, but they have to go back to get their bases. Holy Banana takes it down, and it's just a big game of chicken as Ovi is already back on the map.
Yeah, that took them way too long to recall there. They did not defend the recalls timers well. Inhibitor on the bot side inhibitor turret on the bot side does go down, and I think it's a little bit of a flub. I don't think it's worth it because you're just basically opening up a play for TA Nebula to come into this game and sneak away with it with the back door open like that. Big wave up in the top side. No one is getting it. Missed out XP and gold. That is something that Renekton definitely needed. So a lot of sloppy play just because they're just trying to kill to win. And I'm not mad at that playstyle. I enjoy it. I'm not mad at bad macro. I'm mad at bad micro. If it's for the team, if it's for the game, you know what I mean? You want to see gray screens. Oh,
Ooh, there's the
Three
follow-up.
objectives.
He lands the displacement. He's going to follow forward. He's unstoppable. Uses the ultimate. Can he get the auto attacks? The ignite is ticking. Does give him true sight, but misses the Q. And the ankles get broken yet again. A solo kill on the bot lane. Holy Banana going to be able to use the fleet footwork to sustain his damage. Does have the teleport available, and now the pressure is on.
Oh yeah, seeing what LeBlanc's able to do right there makes me glad that they didn't go Kled into the mid lane, because we would have saw that since the lane phase. So just LeBlanc's too slippery for Kled. Kled a little bit one dimensional, just goes forward. LeBlanc can go, you know what I mean, left, right, up, down, northwest, east, south. So good job by Holy Banana, just being a nuisance there on the map and then able to shove. And wow, it looks like they're gonna be eating up the whole jungle of Jorts.
Really trying to starve Jorts out. He's already fed with 12 kills, 10 stacks on the Darksteel. Still hasn't gone with Mejai's. Not fully confident he can keep himself alive just yet. They are able to clear down some vision. Does secure the scuttle, so at least they have vision on the Baron. But Kled again in the bot lane trying to match the LeBlanc. It's a 2-level difference right now. 6 kills to 1 kill. I don't know if he's going to be able to match effectively enough.
And then also on the other side, Singe is going to be able to power over the Renekton eventually. There is no matching the side laners of TA Nebula. I think Meatballers got to keep roaming as a pack. Nidalee is their saving grace. So here we go.
Look at that big damage. Meows for him. Almost gets taken down instantly. There's the follow-up spear. Doesn't last. True Shot Barrage goes wide as well. Condemn is put onto George, but there is no follow-up damage, as Oddmeister is again going pound for pound against Holy Banana, and the cooldowns are there yet again. Here comes the Renekton. Can he get the damage to go Scarl? He does not. He pushes forward to try to secure the kill and let him get alive, but Holy Banana is just going to be able to blink away yet again, and now he's just toying with his food, going in and out, and that creates a 4v3 on the other side of the map.
Yeah, that's one thing about Nidalee, Rakan, and Ezreal. You know, River, Jorts, and Orange Meatball, when they make a play, they got to make sure they get a takedown. They got to make sure that the opponents are seeing gray screen, because if they fail, then they get nothing out of that. Plus, they know that the side laners are free to fully collapse and take advantage of their advantages of their gold, and not fear that the rest of the team is coming in and gonna make it a 4v1 in unfavorable matchup. So good job by Meatballers. We're trying to make a play, but even better job by TA Nebula, canceling that out, nullifying it, and then also making plays on the side lanes.
Exactly.
Dragon coming up.
Yeah, Dragon coming up in a little bit, and we are on a Cloud Soul, so having that extra movement speed going to be huge to avoid the spears and the Mystic shots. Well done from Jorts to put that down to get the vision. Not going to face tank the Fed LeBlanc, but Weaver is here, and he's going to be playing damage control now. He's going to be trying to zone the other team off as they start up this Baron. We have the Kled on the opposite side of the map, and if Vayne isn't hitting it, they're not going to be able to get the damage down. The Nidalee Spear goes wide, and right now it's just a game of cat and mouse as Kled goes on to the Dragon. The rest of the team is fighting around the Baron. Is Kled going to be able to finish it fast enough? I'm not sure.
Oh man, nah, it's not even close. Back off. Look for a flank.
Back off. He's looking for the fruit right now, but the team is being pushed back. Condemn does not land on the George. That would have been really bad. And here comes the quickness onto the Cinch. He goes in and then goes out, and Kled goes in as well. And the team is just so many blinks back and forth. Weaver not going to be able to land anything too much as George goes forward, goes golden, and now he's just a sitting duck for the rest of the team. The Dragon's Rage doesn't land efficiently enough to get the kill, and George is going to be able to get away for now, as the front line is going to keep themselves alive. Holy Banana is on the back line, is not going to be able to take George down just yet, but he's going to be forced to get away. OV steps forward, lands 3 auto attacks, lands the Silver Bolt, and that is a clean 5-for-0 ace 26 minutes into the game. They have a very small minion wave, but Weaver, with no ultimate, going to be able to tank up some tower shots. They're going to be able to tank up the inhibitor, and here comes the wave. We have 20 seconds death timers, 10 seconds on River. I think they're going to look to end.
I think they can. It's gonna be close. They're gonna be up. They got dashes to go ahead and confirm something.
Oh, they got it.
Oh, they got it.
They're taking up the towers. They're keeping their minions alive. And here's a 4-for-0. River's not going to be able to put them down as the Nexus just ticks away. The stickiness goes down. They're not going to be able to engage. And in a 26-minute slugfest, TA Nebula takes the series 2-0.
2 kills per minute. 2 kills per minute. They didn't let you rest.
The whole game.
they were really trying to take this victory by gray screen. and I love it. I love the sloppiness just because if you're pretty much outmatched, you know the team is higher skilled. You want to make these sloppy games. You want these games to get sloppy because this is where you could potentially thrive. This is where you kind of start testing mechanics. You start testing macro, micro. So it makes the game more complex and not just the typical. Oh, this guy beats this guy in the lane, and okay, now they're rotating. It's like, no, keep rotating, keep ganking, keep fighting, side lane, fight, fight, fight. I loved it. Incredible job by Meatballers trying to make the game interesting and keep fighting. Nidalee, Jorts on the Nidalee was impressive, and but not impressive enough because TA Nebula still comes away with the game at 26 minutes on a dragon fight. Wow.
Just way to slug it back and forth. They were throwing their shots. They weren't afraid. They didn't just sit and huddle and just kind of let their team just kind of fall and just die by attrition. They went forward. They made their plays. River eat into the enemy team into a vein again and again and again. And you just have to commend that kind of bravery for him to step forward and take those fights and have that confidence in himself to land his abilities and to take down that damage. Little disappointed in Lecled, R5 pick. Wish there was something a little bit better because at the end, I mean, when you're playing something that's a poke like the Nidalee and like the Ezreal, you're not looking to kind of collapse and make those big explosive team fights happen. So would have liked to seen something a little bit different, a little bit something that can elongate the fight, allow them to get that poke off again and again and again. But I mean, you just have to give your hats off to TA Nebula. They are right now, I think, one of the top teams in terms of macro when we get to that mid game.
Yeah, I think so. I think most definitely. We've seen them through 4 chaotic games, all with different. It's like all different variations of each other. They kind of lose the lead in the mid game and this second game of the series. The last one we casted, it was just all early game, but they're able to fix some of their mistakes and they're able to capitalize off of the mistakes of their opponents so well. I think that's what makes them I think that's the key of making them so dangerous is they see plays where their opponents do not. So yeah, kudos to them. They're going to be a scary team if they're able to patch up some of their faults in their game, and I'm going to be looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, I really want to see because we didn't see their losses. Their losses weren't streamed. I want to see how those games lost or were lost, and I wonder if it was like an out macro or if it was just the fact that they lost the early game so hard they weren't able to come back.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I would like to see the VODs on that as well. The one of the teams that they dropped the series to is actually tied to them in that 3-way tie for second place. So that's a little scary.
Yes, sir. So we're getting ready to prep for an interview right now. We're gonna see who we're gonna bring in. Who do you want to hear from in this game? Do we want to talk to Ovi a little bit and kind of hear about that slobber knocker in the bot lane, that Kaisa, and then that Vayne? Do we want to go with Ek and kind of see what it was like from a jungler's perspective? Guifer to hear from the top lane island. I mean, who are you looking forward to hearing from?
I'm not sure either Ek because last time we spoke to Holy Banana, Holy Banana said Ek was their shot caller, so maybe Ek, maybe Ovi. It's probably between those two, in my opinion. I think I'll give you the final say, Acolyte.
Oh, let's go ahead and bring in Ek. Let's see what he has to say. I really want to hear a little bit more about just reacting to those invades, learning from level 1, and I want to hear a little bit more about their plans going into playoffs. So
Yeah,
if we can get Ek in here, that would be great.
yeah. I think yeah, that's one thing I definitely want to hear about is like the past and the future. What's to hold more than this series, just because this is just a chaotic series.
It is. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed as a spectator watching this team. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
They have right now. Nebula has my full support going in. I'm so excited to watch them because it is never a disappointment.
No, it's not. It really isn't. Even when they have the lead, they still push forward and forward and forward, and that's what I absolutely love. I hate that the fact that when teams have leads, sometimes they don't feel it in the game, so they still kind of play a bit passive. Team Nebula, TA Nebula plays like they always have a lead, even when they're behind, and they try to look for plays, and they're always trying to be the aggressors, and that's what I 100% love. That could look very sloppy and very like bad, but I don't think that's bad at all because if you hone in on your aggression, your ability to stomp teams becomes like 10 times better. So, oh,
All
it
right.
looks like they already dipped.
Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to get to them close enough. They probably just tried to end the game fast because they might have had somewhere they had to go. But I very seriously doubt this is going to be the last time that we see from them. So looking forward to pulling them in the future and hearing a little bit more about these team plays. And hopefully, if we get to see them in playoffs and win in playoffs, we can hear about their growth throughout the season, what they learned from their losses, what they learned from their victories, and the adjustments that they made.
Definitely, I can't wait.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got to say thank you guys so much for sticking around with us. We appreciate your company on this Dominate Sunday. We only have 1 more week, 2 more weeks. We have
Uh,
one more week, it looks like, of regular season games. And then after that, we're going to be going into playoffs. So next week is going to be pretty important in terms of seeding. If Michigan or Sochil actually lost the match, and then we had Pride, LQD, and Relentless Dawn Esports, if they won, we might have a fight for that fourth entry, that last seed into the playoffs. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, it's still looking pretty close to between teams 4 and 5. So, I mean, anything can happen. It's really exciting to see what else is going on around the league. So make sure you guys stay tuned, stay connected in Discord, see what you guys are going to hear from the rest of us. Fantastic Fat Man, do you have any other closing words?
nope, I'm just excited. I want kind of week 10 to be over just so I could go ahead and see who's going to be in the playoffs, and I'm gonna be tuning in for sure.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope to see you guys next week here as we get the last game as the regular season concludes and we see who's going to go forward, who's going to go home, whose season is at an end as we get into the last week of Dominate season through Risen Esports. Thank you guys again so much for joining us today, and we will see you guys on the Rift next week. Take care.